I'm Dr. Terry, and I had a podcast segment that I talked about Unboxed, and this is part two of that. So, becoming unboxed starts with the decision to make a change. Okay, something's going on here. To make a drastic change, and sometimes making a change is very different. That is why box is the way it is, and we don't want to go outside of what we're used to. The three ways today I'm going to help you become unboxed simply because making a drastic change is to turn our life around. I know a lot of people use the word to transform your life. That's thrown around a lot and that's said a lot. So I want to use the words of turning your life around. And so part one, I did describe what boxed was, how you are boxed. And today in part two, I'm going to tell you how to become unboxed. I'm going to give you three ways to unbox yourself. The first one is releasing yourself. It's what we call self-mental release. It's allowing you to not to hold yourself responsible for something that has happened, something that you even done, made a mistake, because we all in this life are going to. It's a part of life. So releasing yourself is taking away the shame, the guilt, the whole syndrome, it's my fault. That's a syndrome we find ourselves in because that's where nature, human nature, will take us because it wants us to grieve the mistakes, suffer from the mistakes. That's not what we are allowed to do simply because we can take ourselves outside of that box. And in doing that, number one is to release yourself. Being boxed in allow you to not really see yourself as you are, but to see yourself as others sees you. And that's also what boxes you in. Comparison is something that we do, and that will box us in. We're still on number one, releasing yourself. The comparison, you want to release yourself from comparing to what someone has, or comparing to what they look like, comparing to why they are the way they are. The Lord Jesus died that we may have our differences, and God created us in uniqueness the way we're supposed to be, and use that uniqueness in a way that's particularly for us. So our uniqueness is okay. So trying to compare, and sometimes the comparison comes when it's to material things or finances. If you're not there, you will get there. Keep doing what is responsible ways of thinking, being, and doing, and you will get there. And what's due to you is for you, and what He has for you, you are going to get. So building those boxes around yourself when it comes to comparison, faulty thinking of shame and guilt, you're being boxed. But to be unboxed is to release yourself. And another major thing in releasing yourself is not holding yourself in contempt of respect, meaning you're building self-respect. You're doing all those things that you won't strip yourself. We will talk about in one of the other ways how others can strip us and put us in that box, but we ourselves do that to ourselves. So building respect is the first way of becoming unboxed with ourselves, because of the state of mind or the mental view we see ourselves because of the way others see us, or the way we perceive that they see us, because they may not even see what you see. It's how you perceive it. So the self-worth and having the low self-esteem mentally builds walls where we think we're protecting ourselves in this box, but it's building walls to defy, and it's building them against ourselves. So it's very important to not build the box ourselves. Number two is going to be what we believe. What you believe can box you. And this is one of the ones that's more than the others, because if you believe a certain way or believe something about a certain thing, let me give you, for instance, the existence of who you are, why you are, the purpose of life, what life is. Depending on your belief about that, you can be boxed, because it's in of itself sets up a certain accountability that we feel we have to perform, we have to do, we have to be. And the belief based on, and this is major, our parents, our friends, our family, our teachers, or society. It has set up doubts in our own self based on those beliefs because we were taught that way. And what I call condition. Being boxed is being conditioned. And based on what you believe because someone else believe it, you've been conditioned to believe that. And what you believe can box you. Others' opinions, others' ways of doing things, or behaviors, their thoughts. This is a learned behavior. So you've been conditioned. So being conditioned is also being boxed. This prevents you from yourself and emotional growth. So watching what you believe and finding out what you really believe, not based on anyone else, you can become unboxed. The third one is allowing others to box you. We talked about a little bit of that in the first and the second way. This one is in of its own segment because we have to ask ourselves and really take a hard look at, did I create my box or did someone else box me? And in doing that, you do that by looking at society, looking at the way that someone has shaped your mind based on the behavior or conditioned you. And you want to find out if that's a condition that you followed. Did you create it yourself based on what you were told, the way you were raised? If so, it could be that you're boxed because you allowed others to put you in a box. You're going by the beat of the drum for someone else because maybe someone has control of you, have control of your finances, you're in love and you can't be yourself, and that person is always telling you what to do and how to do it. You're being boxed. If you're trapped in a marriage, if you're trapped in a job, something that you are not allowing yourself to be yourself and you know you can be different, you're being boxed. So that's a major way that we find our behaviors, our belief, and our opinions and being boxed. And we sometimes take on someone else's box. We either joined them in their box or allowed them to create that box. Then we believe what they believe for our life and what they believe about us, and then we take that on. In closing, I just want to say that at this point, it is possible to blindly go into someone's behavior, your own or someone else's thinking, someone else's thoughts, someone else's opinion, and being conditioned. If you want to give other ways or defining box, being stuck, being stifinated, being contained, and you want to be released, you have to know in your own experience that you create your own journey to become unboxed. Breaking free is a matter of not being conditioned. If you're having issues with this, call 817-214, let me rephrase that, 817-259-2590, and set up something with me one-on-one that I can help you, and we can go through, if this needs to be more extensive for you, we can go through mental balancing of what it takes for you to get out of the trap, to get out of the box, whether it's others that's boxing you or you yourself. Please call me and I can help you unbox yourself.